Hello, Aquarius. In coming to sit with you all today, feel really honored and excited to sit with you and to talk through the message that came through like lightning bolt clear for Aquarians, which of course would happen, right? I'm getting full body shivers even before I start talking about this message. Wow. As you all know, I feel really clicked into you. You are my oppositional sign. I'm a Leo sun. And Aquarius energy's always felt very magical to me. It's something that, I just click in with you all. There's something really beautifully cosmic and intense about our connection. And I know a lot of you Aquarians out there are also tapped into Leo energy. We have a beautiful dialogue being in the axis that we're in. What an amazing axis to be a part of. Super honored. But sometimes because of that connection, the way that messages come through for you Aquarians is always, it often is very crystal clear and very simple and just like, it just hits me in a way that doesn't happen with other signs. And the thing that's coming up in December is this idea of releasing judgment. And of course, we're always consciously doing that when we're walking around, just like being kinder to ourselves, being softer, but judgment goes really deep. And it's interesting the places we end up judging. Even the tiniest of details in our day, we can start to judge. Now, Aquarians, you all have really high standards. Even though, yes, you do things in your own way. You make your own path. You really are good at forging forward in who you are. I think with that legacy, though, also comes a deeper part of you that often wants to judge and questions if it's okay to be the way that you are. And so this month is a month to lean into more of the softness and the self-acceptance. And I think this is really important. Coming to the end of a year, heading into solstice season and also eclipse season, and we are having an eclipse in your 12th house this month on December 26th, new moon in Capricorn eclipse. 12th house activation is very strong in December for you all, which means you are tapping into spirit and soul level, hidden secret side of self, ascended self, where you dissolve into the bigness of the whole. So there's a theme going on there as well. But this month of activating that spiritual side, that hidden side of yourself, is going to ask you to lean into your softness, lean into full self-acceptance, lean into that soft-heartedness that I know you have, and to not judge your journey this far. Yes, it may be easy to look at 2019 and be like, I could have done more with this, and I could have tried more with this. Devil. We are heading in through Sagittarius season, which is so symbiotic with you. Wow. Sagittarius energy and Aquarius energy, you can't get better than that. Like that combo, that dialogue is so amazing. Having the sun in Sagittarius is going to be beautiful for you. But we also have Jupiter moving into Capricorn 12th house on December 2nd. So your gifts, 8 of Swords. Devil and 8 of Swords. This is really interesting and we'll talk through why. Your gifts are coming in forms that are surprising. When Jupiter is in your 12th house, you don't get infusions of that Jupiterian expansion in obvious places, like in your day-to-day, like in your money house or in your, unless, depending on your rising sign. Some of you may have Jupiter in your money house. Some of you may have Jupiter in your relationship house. But if you are an Aquarius rising especially, most likely King of Swords, you are going to be experiencing that 12th house, which means that your blessings come in from hidden sources, from kind of like guardian angels. Synchronicity and kismet are very strong with Jupiter in your 12th house, and that is changing what's been going on in your 12th house and the dialogue that's been going on there for a while. 2 of Wands. From kind of dealing with shadow side stuff in the spiritual house, moving into abundance and playfulness. The Lovers. I love that. I love the transmutation we have in this process from devil into lovers. That is so powerful, Aquarians. That often happens with you all. Being an air sign, you have the duality factor always working with you, where you have both. You can be both. You can move through both. Air is always balancing out. Magician, yes. What I love about this reading so far is that we start with very imprisoned energies that feel like you're very trapped and very held still, and then we move into very expansive, playful, curious energy. And I think this is where this whole release of judgment and leaning back into your natural state, things may have gone differently than you planned over the last few years. You may have had an idea of who you were supposed to be. Three of Pentacles, loving that for Aquarians. You may have had an idea of who you're supposed to be the last couple of years. Wheel of Fortune. Oh, damn. Aquarius, you all are set for a big month in December with this energy. And yeah, even more important to release judgment, because I think sometimes our judgment voice comes up even stronger when things are going in a direction that feels good for us, when we are actually being pulled toward what's making sense for us and what feels good for us. That's when the self-protective judgment wants to come in and be like, well, maybe you don't deserve this. Maybe you shouldn't do this. Maybe it's too much. Maybe you're asking for too much. Maybe it'll all blow up in your face, right? Okay, so I've covered Jupiter moving into Capricorn, which if you're curious about that, go on over to my Patreon. I already have a video up for what Jupiter is doing in Capricorn this year. It's very powerful stuff. And really useful if you know how to work with it. So if you've joined me over there already, thank you so much. If you haven't, please come and join me. It's so much fun, and I'm going to be adding a ton of stuff about 2020 and the year ahead and how to work with the new energies we are working with. Also important to note, there's a full moon in your fellow air sign of Gemini this month on December 12th, same day Chiron goes direct. And that full moon in Gemini is lighting up your heart chakra, your creative voice. Listen into what you want to create next, what you want to do next. Such beautiful energy. And then we move into Capricorn season. So we're starting to move into your 12th house as the solstice hits and as we navigate more of the Capricorn energy. And you may be noticing you're slowing down. You're listening into that 12th house wisdom that comes with this time of year for you. And then, like I said, that's where gifts and joy come from, is from this hidden sector. So you may be noticing that you're getting more infusions of ideas from behind the scenes, especially with a new moon in Capricorn in your 12th house, with an eclipse. An eclipse in your 12th house, you are having a shakeup also with how you connect to divine energy and how you connect to your purpose in life. And you may be finding that there's a huge revolution in the way you see the work you do in the world and why it matters. And listen in. I think this recalibration for you, this shift into this new energy, is going to be extremely good for you and liberating from any spaces where you feel like you've been slow or you haven't been getting those infusions of clarity that you've been wanting about what to do next, how to contribute next. What's the next project? What's the next adventure? What's the next contribution that you're wanting to be making? If there's been a resistance, kind of a feeling like you can't quite get the answers, that new moon eclipse, I think, is going to help so much with reconnecting to your soul path and to what you want to be bringing to this world. And I think it will be a really powerful time for you. So let's start with these two first fun cards that we have here. An Aquarian's dream, right? I'm just kidding. Devil and Eight of Swords. I think this is really interesting. Like I said, I mean, these two cards, yeah, they are challenging. They are about feeling trapped. They are about feeling stuck or in limbo. It's often about like where we feel like we're in repetitive mental patterns, where we keep taking ourselves over the same place of torture again and again and again. And I know we've talked to Aquarians about, you have a really rich mind. It's brilliant, it's fast, it's very good at putting together story, narrative, ideas. It's very powerful, your intellect. But it has the double-edged effect of also having the ability to kind of, you can torture yourself, you can overanalyze, you can get stuck in these loops, right? Where you re-question again, you look over the details again, you look for any nooks and crannies again, you analyze again, and you get yourself, and you start to feel really awful and then stuck and like you never come up with something new. So you may be finding that you're hitting into some of this again. And this is where that judgment message is really important. Because part of what's going on is our inner judge, our inner dictator, I have an inner dictator. She gets a lot of things done, but I tell you what, she needs to take a chill pill quite often. We got to put her in an easy chair and let her just relax a little bit, right? The thing with us, when we get into that analytical mindset, when we get into this devil eight of swords, we're looking for the answer, we're combing over everything. It's that inner dictator, inner judge who's saying, you haven't done enough. You haven't tried enough. And it's embarrassing that you haven't figured it out yet. And of course, that voice is not right. It's not correct. And because we're starting to tap into your 12th house, the 12th house voice is the voice of the divine that says, you don't need to figure all that out. Stop trying. Stop using all that energy in this underground subterranean prison. You don't need to go there. Relax. You know, this is a great space to witness the judging voice and just acknowledge it for what it is. But you're not meant to stay there. So you may be finding some of those themes come up at the beginning of the month as we move out of the Scorpio, the Mercury retrograde in Scorpio. Mercury will be moving on into Sagittarius and we will really be out of the post-shadow phase. You are meant for visionary energy, expanded energy. I mean, really look at the difference between these two landscapes. One, we're underground, we're chained up, we can't see, we're tied up. You know, literally these figures are tied up by judgment and obsession. And these figures are totally free. They can see across the horizon. They have clarity of vision. I always think of the King of Swords as kind of, you know, he's up in an airy, you know, it's very much Aquarian energy when you all are very in that clear space of seeing exactly where it is you need to go next. And this is the beautiful side of that analytical mind. When you've made a choice and when you have a clear direction, you can move on it. You can use that ability to be detached in a way where you aren't putting yourself to the ringer and you just go. And I think the thing with you is there's clarity here. It's very easy. The answer for what's next is very easy and very simple and very crisp and very clear. And you may be finding some of those answers come through as soon as you release your resistance to yourself and your journey. So you have one part of you that's bringing in the ingredient that you need for what's next. But I will say this about Two of Wands. Two of Wands is a wish-making card. It's a doorway card. It's where you stand and you have turned toward a new horizon. You've decided to turn toward a new horizon. And you've made some wishes. You've made some requests out of that joyful part of yourself, right? And we're setting up for a very big, bold new year, new decade, new energetic transits, new world, a new collective journey together. 2020 is going to be very powerful. You put those intentions forward. But the way that this guy is about to receive all of that information, all of that, is not something that he can pre-plan. He can't be cognizant of the machinations that are going on in order for that to happen. So you want to find balance between this rational-minded, clear-cutting, decision-making part of yourself and the release into the unknown. And once again, there are huge infusions of energy going on in your 12th house this year. Jupiter in Capricorn is going to be working with you in ways where you can't analyze how the blessings come in. So keep that in mind, keep that in mind because, when I look at these next four cards, what I see is electricity. What I see is surprise, positive surprise everywhere. This is truly the unimaginable horizon. For those of you who have been with me for a little while know that that's a phrase that I came up with to describe how life, when it's taking us forward and giving us those infusions of what we need next, we can't, sitting here in this moment right now, you cannot even imagine the people, the places, the things you will see 6 months from now, even a week from now, even tomorrow. You can't conceive of it. And it's great to tap into the energy we want to be feeling. That's a great thing to do. But we can't preconceive it. So, Lovers, Magician, Three of Pentacles, and Wheel of Fortune. Baby, this is your time. This is your time to spread those free spirited wings and fly. and to welcome in all this surprise. Lovers, yes, deep relationship, deep connection, deep conversation. I think that Gemini full moon is going to be so good for your hearts. If you are in a relationship, that could deepen relationships. If you're looking for a relationship, this energy is very strong, but this is also about connection. For those of you, those Aquarians out there that have been feeling kind of isolated in recent years, who've been feeling kind of isolated in their mission in life, in their communities, and finding their tribe again. The Lovers, I think, is also a really powerful energy for connecting to like souls, to soul family, and to feeling really held and embraced and warm and positive. And I think there's something going on there with that. But the magician Mercury, right? But I also feel like he so reminds me of Uranus as well, though. Kind of like the mad scientist, putting things together, concocting, bringing blessing in the form of surprise. Number one. A one energy. This is all about ignition. It's all about lightning strike. It's all about opening up. It's all about new revitalization. And there is just kind of this restart, this cosmic restart going on for Aquarians. Really new energy coming in for you all. And what was I saying about Soul Tribe? 3 of Pentacles and purpose in life. The end of December, as we get into Capricorn season, we have that eclipse and we have the new year coming in. All of that last week of December, your purpose in life, the way you're sharing of your gifts, the way you're sharing and creating is changing. That Wheel of Fortune, 3 of Pentacles is really speaking to that. The people who are coming into your life, the phone calls, the emails that are coming in, the ideas that are springing to you, the people you feel an urge to reach out to and email and call and talk to, is really strong. Between the Lovers, Magician, and Wheel of Fortune, and even 3 of Pentacles, which is about Soul Tribe. It is about the people who get your vision and can help you bring it to life. It's not about isolation. It's not about doing things alone anymore. This is about doing things with others and reconnecting those pieces, coming up from this internal prison that maybe has felt a little heavy recently. This is about electricity, surprise, newness. It tingles. The atmosphere crackles with a newness and a freshness for Aquarians. It is vibrant, but you can't control most of this. So, my invitation to you Aquarians is to relax, soften your judgment on yourself, soften your judgment on who you've been and what you think this needs to be. Relax, be kind to yourselves. Yes, use that clear, sharp wit when the moments are right. Get in there, go for it. And then relax. Open up, see what comes back. That's your balance challenge this month. Okay, I have some affirmations for you that I'm really excited to share for the month of December. I hope you take these with you and use them throughout the month as needed. Here we go. I soften and release tension when I feel I need to edit or change myself to fit in. I relax. I open up to what each day can look like when I am comfortable just the way I am. I let my deep internal voice guide me forward. It's so good. I love when Aquarians are feeling really good in themselves and feeling really loved and nurtured. You all add so much to the world. I'm so grateful to you. I hope you have a beautiful December. Take such good care of yourselves during all this revolutionary energy. It is quite a powerful time in December, really, truly. It's just like, boom, just powerful, impactful, decisive, and opening. Like I said, you can find all those great extras on Patreon. I do weekly write-ups for the astrology for each week. I'm also adding a ton of content over there in more discussions about transits, about energies, about concepts, about my personal journey going through all of this. A lot more personal over there, so you can join me there if you're interested. I would love to see you over there. Thank you to those of you who have joined me already. You can find me on Instagram at Sarah Verba. You can also find me on my website, SARAHTAROT.com. I am going to be opening up a select number of spots for my 2020 calendar. I haven't opened up that calendar yet, but if you want to get on my one-on-one reading list and get notified for when that calendar opens up so you can book in with me, I would highly recommend you email me so that I can set you up with that, and we will be ready to roll so that you will know when my 2020 calendar is open. And of course, What video would be complete without me mentioning my beautiful friend PinkLune and the jewelry she makes? I wear it every day of my life. She's always coming up with something new and beautiful. So you can go check out her Etsy shop. I talk about her because I love her and I believe in her and what she brings to the world. And that's that. So I will see you all for more Moon Magics and for 2020 and for the beginning of Aquarius season, one of my favorite, most intensive times of year. I'm very excited for it. I love you all so much. Take good care of yourselves. You're not alone. You are loved. And I will see you in January. Take care, my seekers.